Europe during medieval times. We will begin our study of the medieval world with the continent of Europe. Our study of this region will include England, the continent of Europe, and the Byzantine Empire, which straddled Europe and Asia. Europe is bounded by seas and oceans and threaded with rivers. During medieval times, these waterways allowed people to travel more easily through Europe, but they also made settlements along coastal areas vulnerable to attack by invaders. Mountain ranges like the Pyrenees, Alps, and Carpathian Mountains helped protect settlements but also acted as barriers to travel and trade. The period of time we call medieval began with the fall of the Roman Empire and lasted till about 1500 CE. Toward the end of this period, many Europeans felt they were living in a time of dramatic change. They began referring to the century since the fall of Rome as the Middle Ages. We use this term today. Historians divide the European Middle Ages into three periods: early, high, and late. The early Middle Ages began after the fall of the Roman Empire in the West. The Roman Empire had unified Europe. After the empire ended, Western Europe fell into chaos. People spoke different languages and could not communicate as easily. Fewer travelers braved the ruined roads. Force became the law of the land. In the East, however, the Byzantine Empire survived Rome's fall. By the start of the High Middle Ages, about 1000 CE, life had become more stable. Many separate European kingdoms, such as England, France, the Papal States, and the Holy Roman Empire, had formed in the West. During the High Middle Ages, most people in Western Europe lived in the countryside under an economic and political system called feudalism. Under feudalism, a king, sometimes a queen, ruled the kingdom. The king granted land to nobles in exchange for military service. Peasants worked the land for the nobles. The late Middle Ages were a time of transition. Trade between the West and the East flourished once more as it had under the Roman Empire. As a consequence, people in Western Europe began moving from the countryside into towns. This led to many other changes. Let's start our exploration of the Middle Ages with a close look at the Roman Empire. Why did it fall? What influence did it have on Western civilization?